Alright, I'm just going to try and paint a little bit of concrete colour onto this 3D model. Now you could use a Photoshop image, and you could use your Photoshop skills to fit it to the right places in the right image on this image. That is one way, but you can actually paint in 3D onto the model, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're just going to work with a diffuse right now. You notice the model looks really black because I've got all of the other texture layers on and I haven't set what they're doing or what they're supposed to be doing. We could go quickly through those and show you if you wish. When you set normal, when we come down to here, we can say what we want in Blender, and it doesn't really matter when it goes to Unity, but in Blender we can set what we want it to do. So this isn't a color, this is an actual geometry, normal. And then we would go to the next one, which is the height map, and again we need to change this away from color, and this is another geometry, and this is a displace. And then we go to the ambient occlusion, and once again we need to take this off color, and it is the ambient occlusion is under shading and ambient, and you'll see that it does improve the look of it. So we don't necessarily need to switch them off in order to work. You could actually just switch off the textures that you don't want to use, but because we've set them to the right thing, we should be sweet, and we should be able to see the effects as we have them here. Now what I've got is I'm going to make sure that I have the diffuse color selected here. I'm not sure whether these are all required. So what we're going to do is just get this color and try and paint a little bit in 3D. So what I'm going to do is just go into the texture paint mode. Now, I mentioned before that we need to ensure that we're actually going to be painting on the diffuse color. So the diffuse is set here and here. The texture paint tools come up on the left hand side here. Now, you can click on there and choose the different tools. Most of the time you're just going to use this texture draw. And what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to cheat a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paint with a texture. Right now I don't think I've set myself up a texture, so I am going to set that up. If I go across to the materials again and the textures, in the world there's a picture of a little world, so this is a world texture. I'm going to make myself a new world texture, and I'm just going to call this clouds, and I'm going to set up a clouds texture. Instead of image or movie type, I'm just going to change this to the clouds. So there it is, clouds. I had trouble finding it. You see it gives you sort of a fuzzy grey texture here. So now I've got a texture in my data block called clouds. I should be able to choose it over here to paint with. So I've got clouds right there. I'm just going to choose to draw with the clouds texture. Now if you are in texture draw and you just literally start scrubbing across, what you'll see is that the correct part of the UV map is also changed by what you do. So I'm just going to quickly scrub across, and I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause the recording and finish this off. So that's me more or less finished. Now one little tip that you probably didn't see is I've duplicated the lights all the way around this object so that I could actually clearly see the textures as they were getting made. Now the texture is not too bad. Another little tip is you can actually draw on the 2D texture as well if you want to make some changes. So instead of view, you click on paint, and then again you can just grab your tools up here and you can draw straight onto to this area as well. You can see there's a little bit of a funny warped bit here. So what you can actually do is just paint straight onto this, and you'll see that it changes the texture on the model as well. Now obviously you're going to make a better job of this than me, and it's probably not going to be quite as simplistic as this, but once it's done, you're quite part of the way through getting a pretty awesome looking model. So I'm just going to click image and make sure that I save all those images.